Countdown. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I am your host, Willie Bragg. I want to talk about the year 2024 because we all thought that once Joe Biden became president, that more than likely either Kamala Harris would carry the torch because he would not step down. That he would be stepping down due to his advanced years and his mental faculties. Well, the mental faculties are it's very apparent. He is planning to run again for re-election. And I really would caution that he would just, rethink about this. Just rethink this because I don't think that he could win in 2024. In 2020, he was in a situation where he was the safe, choice, a return to stability because COVID, Trump, the riots, near economic collapse. It was just kind of everything was chaotic as hell. Very dystopian society. Not that we're much better, but it was a little more pessimistic last year. And the thing about it is that voting for Biden was a chance to return to normalcy. Now, I don't interpret returning to normalcy as a good thing. It isn't. Normalcy is what got us Donald Trump in 2016. The way things were done prior to Trump is what got us Trump. So returning back to normal is just going to give us more Trump or something worse than Trump next time. And it's almost a foregone conclusion that if Joe Biden runs again for re-election, that the Republicans, depending on who the Republicans is, but if it's Donald Trump, more than likely Donald Trump will beat him. I do not think that Donald Trump would end up running for president in 2024 for a couple of reasons. I'm not saying he's not going to run. I'm just saying that there are some barriers that there's some things that people need to think about with regard to Donald Trump possibly not running in 2024. And I think that maybe the Republican Party will look at what the Democrats did to Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020 and be like, maybe we need to do that to stop Trump, because the establishment still hates his guts. Oh, he's popular with his base, but the establishment hates his guts still to this day. Oh, they love the shitty policies. They just wish it could be done with the Mitt Romney demeanor and with no mean tweets. And honestly, I miss the mean tweets. Hate his policies. Always hated Donald Trump's policies. The mean tweets always put a smile on my face. Even if I disagree with the content of the tweet, it still put a smile on my face. I'm like, did this joker really say that? Did he really say that? We became a Saturday Night Live sketch. Well, there are other Democrats. If Joe Biden steps down, Kamala Harris is extremely disliked. Pete Buttigieg is extremely disliked. And the Democrats, they're all empty suits. And so, if Donald Trump is the nominee, he'll basically smash them alive. And, we're in big trouble as a country. Now, I would argue, and it's not going to happen, and I'm a mix on whether it should happen or not. Last year, I was such an obnoxious Bernie bro that I was like, man, fuck all this shit. I think that Bernie Sanders needs to run for president again in the year 2024. We'll get the establishment this time. A large part of me says, give it up, Bernie. I mean, I know Bernie's not going to run. He's already filed papers to run for the Senate. And as far as being a U.S. senator is concerned, yeah, I mean, I guess I would be a little excited about him running for re-election in the U.S. Senate, but I wouldn't be disappointed if he retires because, I mean, let's face it, he's 3,000 years old and, he's up in years and he's fought the good fight all his life. I mean, he's not perfect, but, as far as American politicians are concerned, I mean, he's one of the better people in politics, in mainstream politics, rather. And he's fought a long, hard life, fighting for what was supposed to be the goodness of America, the conscience of America. And he is, in many ways, in the mainstream political sphere, the conscience of the United States. Just as, I would argue that Eugene Debs was the conscience of America over 100 years ago, 120 years ago, rather, or that Tommy Douglas was the conscience of Canada. So, the thing about it is, Bernie needs to, I guess, focus on re-election in the Senate and continue to try to fight in the Senate. Wish he will return back to his 1990s self-fighting. But anyway, what I do know is this. This is unacceptable. It was an unacceptable choice in 2020. It would be just as unacceptable in 2024. I mean, obviously, I will not vote for Donald Trump. But no way I will vote for Joe Biden either. I will do what I did before and vote Green Party. I mean, that's just about the only thing I can do. I would not vote for Joe Biden in 2024. Yeah, in fact, I can forget all about the prospects of voting for that man. Because we haven't seen any $15 minimum wage, which by 2024 we'll probably need to have $25 or $30 minimum wage. No Medicare for all. No, of course, he didn't campaign for Medicare for all. He promised a public option. We're not going to get a public option. So, yeah, we don't need that choice, but it looks like we could get that choice again. And the thing about it is, as I said, the other Democrats are a joke. So, and if it isn't Trump, it could be Ron DeSantis or Ted Cruz or Tom Cotton. And all of them are worse. Mike Pence. Mike Pence has the charisma of a bowl of oatmeal. I don't think he'll get the nomination. So, I would caution my advice for the Democrats. If one must look at the Democratic Party and wish them well, my advice for the Democrats would be to go and try to find a candidate with the policies of Bernie Sanders. But somebody, and not that really an amazing atheist said this before a year and a half ago. A perfect candidate would be somebody with the policies of Bernie Sanders, but with the these are my words, not his, paraphrasing, but somebody that is an absolute asshole like Donald Trump. The demeanor of Donald Trump, but with the policies of Bernie Sanders. Hopefully, that candidate will have better hair than either Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump. But the point is, you need somebody who could actually have kind of a fuck off attitude toward people, toward the press, and toward the establishment, and just be a wrecking ball. Someone like that. But with the politics of Bernie Sanders, I say within the third party movement, Jesse Ventura will fit that bill because he's outside the establishment. His politics is not perfect in the year 2021, but his politics has improved tremendously since he became governor of Minnesota back in 1999, January 1999. His politics, he's developed quite an intense anti-capitalist ideology. Maybe not to the level where I am or where my ideological circles gravitate, but he's actually developing a good ideology. And as far as I'm concerned, right now, I'm wanting Jesse Ventura to run as the Green Party candidate for president, because I look at the Democrats and I don't see any prospects. And so what I would like to do is to see how everything goes. But first, we got to get through this 2022 election. And again, I'm not particularly keen on local politicians and here the congressional delegation that's in D.C. from both parties, from North Carolina, Democrats and Republicans alike. They all freaking suck. So, just the prospects, it's very dim and everything. And so with regard to what's going to happen remains to be seen. I know that I'm not going to be voting. Well, I won't be voting Republican, but I'm not going to be voting for the Democrats either, especially down here in North Carolina. There's no attractive option. But even if I was lucky enough to go and live in the Bronx and vote for AOC, at this point, she's been a disappointment as in the case of the squad. If they can't even do a force to vote, we're never going to get anywhere. We're never going to get anywhere. And it was perfect opportunity last year. So I want to go and conclude and make some talk to everybody here on the chat line and see how everybody's doing. Hot retard chicks, how are you today? I'm glad to see you here. Hello, Invalidarg. I'm glad to see you here as well. And let's see who else we have here. And let me see what we got. Only Tulsi can stop Trump. Yeah, I was, when it came to Tulsi Gabbard, she's made a big 180, and somebody who was sounding like Bernie Sanders light last year, and then agreeing with Sean Hannity a year later. I don't know what that was all about, but it just didn't set well with me. So that's, I don't know I don't know what became of Tulsi Gabbard. Well, my theory is that she was treated like shit in the Democratic primaries. And my position is about the same as Kim Iverson in that regard. Kim Iverson actually spoke on that, and I can see where she's coming from. Largely would agree with Kim Iverson on that. Let's see, Mbalagar, what do you have to say? Trump is the best Twitter account. Bring him back. I agree with you. I hated it when his Twitter account was taken down. It was hilarious. I look forward to, I didn't look forward to the policies of Donald Trump, but I sure as hell look forward to the tweets. I mean, it just cracked me up. I mean, and so, I mean, to take away the Twitter account of a sitting president, and and or anybody for that matter, I just don't. It doesn't set well with me when anybody's Twitter account is suspended, or or Facebook, or what have you. See, Tulsi's your only prospect. Well, she's going to have to convince me um, what she was saying. She made some comments that just didn't sit well with me. I mean, and I know there are people on the left that still like Tulsi Gabbard, and I was, as I said, she was my second choice in 2020 in the primaries. I mean, Bernie Sanders wouldn't have been running in 2020 if it would have been Tulsi. Just I would have supported Tulsi over even Elizabeth Warren in the year 2020. Yeah, if Bernie wasn't running. I wanted her to be vice president, or be a Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense, when she seemingly was arguing for non-interventionism, and that's a big issue with me these days. Too much interventionism, too much neocon wars, and she was calling them out, and I will really cringe if she's ever talking to Mark Levin and ends up agreeing with him. I just would hate the thoughts of that. Now, Kim Iverson as a vice president, I can go along with that. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to bring that out and everything. But as far as I'm concerned, um, for old time's sake, I say what I would like to say is bring this guy back. Yeah, this guy. Bring him back from 1988 and let him run for president, Bernie Sanders. So, I mean, why not? I mean, so anyway, what I like to do is I will conclude with everybody, telling everybody to have a great day. I work graveyard shift, so I am incredibly exhausted. So I want to go to bed very soon. I sleep in the daytime, just like Barnabas Collins on Dark Shadows. If any of y'all are familiar with the show from back in the '60s, I'm going to go down into my coffin and sleep. So anyway, y'all take care. Okay. Good night to hot retarded chicks. Good night to Invalid Org, and good night to Les Bones. I will see you all next time.